So basically we will be covering conditions, conditionals, how to identify them, then loops, then printing patterns. That much only mostly we will be covering, and maybe other topics we will discuss in next session. So this is like the basics. So we will be going in detail through each of these topics. So good afternoon, everybody. So in this session, we will be going through Python conditionals and loops. So we will be going in a bit detail since this is something basic that you would need to throughout your programming journey with Python. So basically, I will be using Colab for this session as we followed for earlier sessions. So I put two links here. One is a open book project for conditionals and loops. Second is the original Python documentation for control flows. So you can go through that in detail. It is not one-to-one with the material that I am covering, but most of the concepts will be covered in those material as well. So basically we can start. So first we'll go through conditions. So what is meant by a condition, right? So as I know, like is it raining? So right now it is raining here in Trivandrum. So the condition for is it raining? I can tell that it is true, right? So in that your place maybe it is not raining currently. So then in that case, if you tell is it raining, the answer will be false, right? So conditions we will be evaluating always in terms of true or false. So a condition can be told like an expression that evaluates to either true or false. Now there are multiple things that can evaluate to true or false. So we'll go through some examples and I will tell you why each of them evaluates to true or false. Now let's see some conditions that will evaluate to true. So suppose I am using a Boolean true. If I am printing it by default, it is what the condition means, right? So it will always return a true. Then we will go through some string functions like there's a string function named isalpha, which returns if a string is an alphabetic character. Say either lowercase or uppercase A to Z. So in that case, it will return true. Then suppose another string function is numeric, so which will return if the string is of a numeric type, either integer or float. Then isalnum combines these two and checks whether the number is alphanumeric, either alphabets or numbers. Then isupper is a convenience function that will check whether a function is in uppercase. Islower is a condition that will check whether it is in lowercase. As you can see, whatever string I have used in this case is something which will make the corresponding convenience function return a true value, like directly the function as well as something that returns true value for each of these you can see here. Then if I am writing something in title case, I can use isTitle convenience case to check it. These are similar to our upper lower title functions, which will like perform this operation on a string. So these operations are like the once you do the operation or before you do the operation, you can check it whether it is corresponding to a particular type. Then comes the isInstance, which we covered in last session also, which will check whether a given value is of a particular Python data type. So 2.0 is float, so this will return true. 2 is of type int, so this will return true. The next 2-3 examples are like membership operations. Like I am checking whether the value 2 is in a list which contains elements 1 to 5. Then I am checking whether 3 is in a tuple which contains 1 to 5. Then I am checking 4 is there in a tuple which set which contains 1 to 5. Then I am checking whether a value 2 key 2 is present in a dictionary. So all these from previous sessions you will know that all these will return true only. Then similarly, if I run all this, corresponding to all of these, I will be getting true only. So while Colab is connecting, we can check through false cases also. Corresponding to all these cases, we have corresponding false statement also. So if you see here, a false will give me a false. As you can see, all the outputs evaluated to true in this case. Now, whatever is given in false is like the ulta cases for all these conditions. Like if I print a false, that will give me a false output. If a number I give and check it against isalpha, that will return a false. If I give an alphabet and check whether it is numeric, it will give me false. If I give me a special character and checking whether it is an alphanumeric character, that will return me false. And similarly, upper and lower, if I don't give the correct case, isTitle, that will give me a false. Then if I am giving an integer and checking whether it is of type float, that will give float. False. Again, I am checking if float and checking whether it is of type integer, that again will give a false. Similarly, here membership operations, I have checked for elements which are not there in the corresponding data structure. So that also will give me false. So when we run this, all these like, so being able to identify whether a condition is true or false is one of the prerequisites to write any conditions, right? So now we will go to conditionals. So what do you mean by conditionals? So conditionals are, I would say, selection statements which are used to execute a block of code based on a set of condition checks. So we already went through what are the conditions. Conditions can evaluate either true or false. So now using the set of conditions, we can make the code to selectively go through some particular code or selectively skip some particular portion of this code, and that implementation is called conditionals. Now there are different conditionals that we are using, mainly if else, if else, right? So you might have already heard of this and the use case. So I will just go through the syntax of each of these. Suppose I just want to do something or skip something. That is my only requirement. I want to select some, if my integer is even, I want to print it, or if my integer is even, I don't want to print it. That is my only requirement. Then I will go to a plain if statement followed by a condition. So this condition here will be similar to what we saw in the previous example. So instead that I will put my statements. So one thing in syntax you can see that there is a if, then there is a condition followed by a colon, followed by an indented block. So inside the condition you see that either 4 spaces or single tag to tell that whatever statements are indented this way will be coming under this if condition. So this will be the most simple implementation which will be of a conditional, which will give me a particular, I can execute a particular portion of code, or I can skip a particular portion of code. Now suppose I have 2 operations. In case the check succeeds, I want to do something, else I want to do something. For example, if it is an even number, I want to print it, and if it is an odd number, I want to maybe add 1 to it and print it, something like that. So in that case, I can use like a binary if else. So if it is true, the statement set 1 will be executed, and if it is false, if the condition 1 is false, the statements inside statement set else will be executed. Then suppose I have multiple cases, like my case is not binary. Like if you compare, I have some 2 classes of output, whether it is raining or not. So I have only 2 options here. So if it is raining, I have to take umbrella. If it is not raining, then I don't need to take umbrella. I can go out, right? So that is like if else case. Then suppose I have multiple conditions like marks. I am one example we can see. Suppose some person is writing an exam marked out of 100 marks, and then he needs to be assigned grades, right? So we will tell between 90 and 100 assign grade A, between 80 and 90 assign grade B, like that. And if it's at fail, assign grade F. So if I have a requirement like that, I need to evaluate multiple conditions, right? So in that case, I will use an else if. Else if is shortened in the syntax and written as elif. So the syntax is same as similar to previous one. There will be a if condition 1. So there will be a elif which checks condition 2. So one thing to note here is that the condition 2 will be checked only if the condition 1 is false. If the condition 1 is true, the statement set 1 will be executed and it will directly go to the end of the conditional check. It will go to this point and execute from there. Then similarly inside that I may be having n conditions. So whichever condition is becoming true, till that point it will be proceeding, and from that point onwards it will be skipping the statements and going to the end of the if loop. So I hope this is clear. So we will be seeing use cases for all these 3, as well as then one advanced, not advanced, one maybe complicated for beginners thing is nested ifs, right? So nested if means that I can write an if inside an if, right? So I have a condition if, inside that if I write another if else set, then how it will execute here? If one condition 1 is true, then second time it will true, it will come inside this if. Then it will again check for condition 1 1. So if that is true, again whatever like we told inside this if block, it will execute the same way similar to another an independent if else. So if condition 1 is true and condition 1 1 is true, this set of statements will get executed. Statement set 1. Now if condition 1 and condition 1n is true, these sets are will executed. Then if condition 1 and nothing till condition n are true, then it will directly go to the else inside condition 1. So this is a simple case of a nested if. So similarly, we can like nest within elif, within else and all. So like if you can see directly, you can see that it is possible that the code will get very complicated because of this. So while going through the session, I will give you one example of this, and I will also tell how you can flatten the nested if so that your code is more readable. So from the implementation part, we will see an example. OK, so we will see something. So suppose my requirement is I want to set reminders. So I am very not punctual with my sleeping. So I want to help make a Python program that will help me to tell me when I should sleep and when I should not sleep, right? So we'll just see an example like that, which will make the concept of if else loop clear to you. So first thing, if I am sleeping, wake me up, right? So how I can implement that? So I will check whether am I sleeping currently. So I can have two options. Either I may be sleeping. So in that case, I will be true. So if I am not sleeping, right? Currently I am taking class, right? So I am not sleeping. So I will give false. So am I sleeping variable I have initialized to false. Then my if else condition will be if I am sleeping, I will tell OK, you are not at it is not a time to sleep, so you can wake up. And if I am not sleeping, it will tell me to sleep. So this is like the most simple case. If I am it will invert my condition. If I am sleeping, it will ask me to wake up. If I am awake, it will ask me to sleep, right? So now what will be the output? You can predict in the chat windows. I am seeing that also. So all these questions will go that way only, be interactive. So whatever answers you expect will be coming out of these if else things, you can type in the chat windows. Then only once I see some answers only, I will be executing the cell and seeing the output, right? So am I sleeping is false. So I have a condition here, right? So yeah, good evening everyone. No issue if you join right now. We are just started only. Somebody can tell what will be the output of this. If am I sleeping, I will print wake up, and else I will print go to sleep. So when I run this, what will be the output? Whether it will be wake up or go to sleep. Right, go to sleep, right? Am I sleeping is false. So when I come here, this will evaluate to false. So this will not go to this part. Since the else is there, it will directly execute whatever is inside the else clause. So go to sleep will be my output. Then this is a very crude way of implementing this, right? So whenever I am sleeping, it asks me to wake up. Whenever I am awake, it asks me to sleep. This is not what I want with a reminder, right? So I usually sleep after 10 p.m. When it is night only. So the thing should I need to add like more complexity to it by telling that you need to tell me to sleep only when it is night, right? So let's try to implement that. So I will define one more variable here. Am I sleeping and is it night? So it is night. So suppose it is 8 o'clock, 8:30 now. So I will tell is it night is equal to true. And am I sleeping is equal to false. Yeah, something has set out. Mukesh, can you mute your mic? OK, thank you. So I have two variables I have defined. One, am I sleeping? False, right? Since I am not sleeping currently. Is it night? True, since it is night. Then how I will implement the condition? I will check that if it is not night, right? Then I will print it is not a time to sleep. Then if it is night, it will become false here. So it will come here and it will check whether I am sleeping. So if it is day, that means it is day and I am sleeping. Then it will tell me wake up. It is not at time to sleep. Then the third condition is again similar to previous one. It will tell that it is you can go to sleep since it is night, not night. OK, so if I run this, what will be the output I will get? So different conditions also we can try. OK, so 9 is it 9 not defined. Why it came? Right, because we have a cell where we defined is it night, so that we did not run. So that is why. So this kind of errors will come if we are not running all the cells in the code. So it will come for this corresponding values of am I sleeping and is it night? It will come as go to sleep. Right. So I am sleeping. It is false and it is night true. So I am not sleeping at night. So it will tell me to go to sleep. Now, what if it is not night? Right. Then it will tell me it is not a time to sleep. And what if it's night? It will tell me wake up. It is not a time to sleep. Is that what I want? No, right? It is already night and I am sleeping and my reminder is telling me to wake up. So why it should tell so? It's already night, I am sleeping, so it should allow me to sleep, right? So why it is so? Because I did not implement my conditions here correctly. So this is something that you may need, you may experience very frequently when you write code, right? So if you have multiple variables, you need to logically see how each variable interacts with each other, and you need to see in your mind how each condition will work out. Only then you will be able to implement the if-else conditions in the way you want. So that is why I have given this specific example where I have put the wrong logic for am I sleeping and is it night. So that when you try to debug the program, you can know that, okay, this is not what I want for this particular input. So I will tell, okay, I want to sleep at night, buddy, implement the conditions properly. So let's see how the buddy implements it correctly. So my buddy will do what? I will show the previous code as well so that you can see the difference. So my buddy will put this first two conditions that we saw. He will nest it inside the first if condition. So how he will implement that? He will implement that if it is not night, that is it is day, and I am sleeping, then remind me that, okay, you have to wake up, it is daytime, so not a time to sleep. Similarly, if it is day and I am not sleeping, no issues. It is not a time to sleep, so you can continue whatever you are doing. And if it is night, irrespective of whether I am sleeping or not, it will give me an output as go to sleep. So this is a correct implementation, right? Right. So it is telling am I sleeping true and is it night false. So it is not at night. So and we will now check the condition where we got wrong output earlier. So it is night and I am sleeping. So it should tell me go to sleep, right? So now I implement the logic correctly. So you can see the difference between these two codes. I wanted the same thing, but this code I implemented it wrongly, whereas this would have been a better or correct way to implement the same thing. So now we will just see one more example, right? We will expand to this example. So right now it is night, 8:30, but I'm attending a class, right? So I cannot sleep now. The code will tell me to sleep. So I will add one more variable. Am I in class? So currently I am in class, so I true. Then currently am I sleeping? No, right, false. Is it night? True, yes, right. Then I will add a condition, right? If I am in class, if I am sleeping, so if you are not supposed to sleep in class, right? So it will print as you are in class, but it is not a time to sleep. And if you are not sleeping in the class, it will tell you nice work staying awake for the class. And if I am not in class, then my conditions will be same as the previous nested if that we implemented, right? This much portion is more or less same as this. Only the wordings I have changed just to be more explicit, right? So now we can see what it will tell. So you are in class and you are not sleeping, I hope. So then it will return nice work staying awake for the class. Now suppose, yeah, Amrit, the nested loop I will explain again just after this example. So am I sleeping? So suppose you accidentally dozed off while listening to the class, then you are in class and it is night and you are sleeping, all are true. So then what will be the output? It will prompt you, you are in class, but it is not a time to sleep. Right, so now this condition is correct. So now Amrit wants to just nested loop, he just wants to explain in more detail, so I will just go back there. So I will explain this example, right? So if I am having an, so you first thing you need to note is the indenting. So this if is matched with this else, right? So that means that if the condition inside this if is not true, then whatever is inside the matching else, you see the matching indent wise matching else will get executed, right? Then here I have an indented block. So this indented nested if means that this will be executed only if the condition for this if is true. So suppose if not, it is night. That means that if this condition becomes true, then it will go to this block. So this is again, you can consider it like an independent if else inside this. So here it will again consider the matched else for this if is this one, not this one, right? So if am I sleeping is true, it will execute whatever is inside this print. And if it is false, if this local nested thing is false, it will come here. So similarly, even inside this, if am I sleeping, I can go on implementing more on levels of nesting. But the problem with more and more levels of nesting is that your code becomes more complex. It is more prone to errors. It will be difficult to debug. So you always restrict your number of level of nesting to maybe 2 or 3. If you are not able to implement something within a nested loop or maybe 2 or 3 levels, then you are not implementing it correctly, because most of our requirements we should be able to meet within 2 or 3 levels of nesting. As we will see in the pattern examples today, you can see how we are implementing that in the optimal way. So I hope Amrit is clear. Otherwise, in a doubt clearing session, we will explain with more examples. We will not spend much time on same topic again. We will again go through all these things in doubt clearing sessions, right? So again, we will proceed from this point. So now, as I told just now, my nested loop is now in this case having 1, 2, 3 levels, right? So 3 levels, even then it is difficult to debug. Suppose I give a particular input, what is the output is difficult to predict. So it would be better if I am able to flatten this into something more elegant, something more readable, right? So I have done that in the next slide. So both these are equivalent. So what I have done, I have merged these conditions using AND, or you can even use OR, XOR, all the digital Boolean operators you can use to merge the condition. So how I have implemented this, if am I in class and am I sleeping. So these two conditions I have merged and I am printing you are in class buddy, same as here. Then corresponding to this else, I am having else am I in class. Nice work staying awake for the class. And the second else inside that I am having a nested one that I have flattened as elif same conditions, is it night and am I sleeping. Like you can see the order between this and this, it is 1-to-1 match. Then it will print sleep tight, and in the elif of that is if it is not is it night, it will print go to sleep, and the final else of this will meet the final else of my flattened case. Now you see the difference between this nested implementation and the flattened implementation. This is more readable, right? Both will give the same output. Both will work exactly the same way. But when you are going readable or from elegance point of view, this one is more readable, right? So I hope we cover basics of if else. So this should be enough to get us going and implement the basic functions. So now we will be seeing if else further down when we are seeing more examples.